everybody? It's William City, aka Young Brookwood, trying to be rich someday. And today we're going to talk about the Westbrook Wall trade. But before we do that, like, subscribe. Subscribe right now. And let's get into it. So, my thing with the trade, right? Who cares? Does it really matter? Is it going to make... Neither team is a contender. They're both... No, they're not. Anytime James Harden's on your team, you're a playoff contender. So I guess, right? But like not championship contender. Both teams are playoff hopefuls, and that's it. You're not winning. You're not even making it to the final. You're not winning the East or the West. So what does it matter? But if you're in the market for fun, cool. The Wizards could be a fun team just to watch. But it doesn't. His style is, you know why people still believe in Simmons and Giannis the way they play? And I think about this sometimes, and I think this is why. Westbrook, for not being able to shoot just like them, he shoots a little bit better than both of them. But if he was doing what he does at like 6'11", I think it's different. And his body type is different, would be different, and he's longer and could play better defense. He's not great on defense. He's not that big. He's not a versatile defender as the other two are. But people like to compare them because their games are, all of their games are very similar. Get to the basket, if not, hope to find an open shooter, right? But two of them are almost 7 feet tall. He is listed at what, 6'3", 6'4"? What is he listed at? It doesn't matter. And then with John Wall, if he's what people are saying he is, if he's better than ever, which is what everybody says after an injury, if he's better than ever, then cool. But if he is just as good as he was when he left, what is he, a fringe All-NBA player? What did he make? All-NBA third team in 2015? I'm not going to fact check that. I'm pretty sure it's like 2015. I think he was third team. And he made all defensive team 1 year. All defensive second team. If he's that good, he's not the same as Westbrook. He's not as good. Westbrook is always in contention to be an all-NBA player. He's a perennial all-star. Just like, I'm pretty sure John Wall would be a perennial. Would John Wall be a perennial all-star in the West, though? No, right? Is John Wall today... If he's he's not an all-star in the West then, because it's no, he's not. Because the guard spots are so no, he's not. So yeah, so what are you looking at there? Westbrook always made it. John Wall will not. They're a little different. One is more box office than the other two, depending on what the business you're in is. If you're in the business of winning games, who cares? Well, Westbrook did carry teams in the West to the playoffs with 45 wins, and that was in the West. So what does that translate to in the East? But I just don't think it's... Westbrook is definitely better, but in the idea of both their franchises, this trade means like nothing. It doesn't mean anything. It's a lateral move in terms of the franchise, because they're, in my humble estimation, you're not going to win a championship with either of them. And it does, like, even if you're not going to win a championship. And by the time you are a contender or like coming up the ranks, they're both going to be too old because you can't play how Westbrook plays. He already has an injury history. You can't play how he plays for that long. He plays with such like reckless abandon. He's very like, he's a great athlete, but to me, he doesn't seem as much of a like fluid athlete. He's more of a jerky type athlete, and you can only stop so many times like that before you start getting hurt, like he did. Some of those injuries weren't his fault though, and I feel bad, but you can only do so much, and he's not. His mid range is fire, but I feel like he's not developed enough. He's so far into his career. He doesn't shoot well enough for it to I'm getting a phone call. Hold on. Sorry, I just got a call from my doctor. That was funny. I should leave that in. I'm not gonna. Anyways. Where was I? I forget. It was a kind of important phone. Whatever. It's a lateral move in the theory of your franchise. It doesn't really matter. Will it be fun? Sure. If John Wall is anything what he used to be, it'll just be fun to watch. It's gonna be. I don't think James Harden gets traded before the offseason is up. There's no way, in my mind. So what? Like they're gonna play together? Well, okay, hold on. If James Harden doesn't want to be there, no, because I don't. How does James Harden play? No, because he's always played hard. I don't think you see the peak of what John Wall can be if he's not the primary ball handler, and he's not gonna be, unless James Harden just gives it up, and then you're gonna see poor effort on they got Covington up out of there. There's no real big there. Well, yeah, there is now. Christian Wood. I like Christian Wood a lot. I just don't see it. I don't see how this becomes anything more than just the James Harden show again if he's still there. And if he's not, well, no, hold on. That was the system, though. ISO and get out the way. I think he can play in another system. We're just so used to seeing, because in OKC, but he wasn't the James Harden we know. There's so many moving parts to this. It just doesn't. It's hard to get a handle on. But I think the move just is Westbrook was unhappy, and reportedly John Wall wanted to play with James Harden. If that's true, whatever, right? That's all it did. You just traded. I don't want to say problems, because people like if you're around Westbrook, people love Westbrook, like as like his teammates. John Wall, they loved him in DC, but it doesn't. They're not trading problems. It's just bad contracts. Just because you're a bad contract also doesn't mean you're a bad player too. I don't like that because people try and say Tobias Harris is a bad player. No, really, really bad contract. Not a bad player. And you just saw some more bad signings this offseason. So it happens every offseason. Them giving him max money was tough though. But they thought they had a run because that team too. They got off that. Okay, that's a whole other conversation. But them getting off that Al Horford contract was magic. Okay, but I'm going to leave it at that. The Westbrook Wall trade, lateral move for your franchise. One of them is a better player, though, for sure. They're not the exact same player. Unless, again, John Wall comes back and he's full of magic. Who knows? But it's been your boy MCD. Like, subscribe. I'll see you tomorrow as well. And I'm out. Peace.